with the breakneck speed at which AI is getting adopted, right? While it brings a lot of advantages, there are risks as well. So we'll spend the next couple of minutes or 30 minutes actually, speaking a lot about this and understanding what are CISOs or leaders in the security space, what's their perspective about it, how is the industry looking and what are they doing about it, right? So with that, I'll probably, point it to Vikas to start off on seeing as a CISO, what are the top priorities of a CISO today, or the CISO in the space of AI adoption? How are you looking at it and what are your top concerns in this area?
Hi, thanks, Preetam. I think very important to understand that while we may talk a lot about AI, the fundamental risks still remain. I think they get amplified. So for example, ransomware is one of the key threats which we face. We face threats around phishing. We face threats about scams. I think you can't pick up a phone call without worrying about who's on the other line and whether he's trying to trick you or not. So from that aspect, I think these risks remain fundamentally the same, but they get amplified by AI. And let's say today I read recently that the first AI-powered ransomware attack has taken place against an organization. So the hackers and the malicious actors have started ensuring that they start leveraging AI very fast. And that's what we say in organizations. We wait for our contracts, we wait for our solutions to be put in place, and then we adopt them, and then we apply them, and then we go through a skilling program. But I think all that a malicious actor takes is 1 weekend of quick learning, second weekend of application, and third weekend is up and running. So I believe those fundamental risks around offline scams, ransomware, phishing, business email compromise remain. They get amplified because the hackers leverage AI technologies to do things much faster. Obviously, certain new risks emerge, and they are around the fact that if you're leveraging new AI technologies, the speed with which you are moving, and we obviously want to move fast because everyone believes it's the fastest finger first. The first person who enters in the market with a new solution will obviously win the race. So therefore, you end up having the risks associated with AI adoption. You have risks around safe usage and ensuring that the service which you're providing, especially in online space, is it authenticated, is it responsible and safe, or are we giving it as a advice which has just been picked up from a model and hallucinated and given it to you? So, but I believe against all this, we have certain key areas and key changes which are happening. As security leaders, we need to focus on ensuring that we are learning and up the game. And as I brought out in my presentation as well, ensure that we effectively upskill and also empower our organizations. For example, today, one of our first priorities is ensuring that we remain knowledgeable about the new technology which have come and also enable the business to adopt them securely. That is my initial thoughts.
Thanks, Vikas. What are your top concerns or top concerns when it comes to fast-paced AI adoption in your respective organizations or other organizations that you see? This is an open. Anyone go first?
I'll take the first part. Now, when we are talking of fast-paced adoption, essentially it automatically follows that we as security professionals, we have the difficult job of having to understand the risk elements of it, do a thorough check, risk assessment before this is deployed. Now, this should not ideally, affect the speed of adoption. That's one of the key elements. But having said that, how do you exactly put this into practice? Because whenever I'm talking of AI, Vikas was just saying about your normal risks being amplified. I'd like to bring out the key element of the supply chain. So when I'm talking of the AI supply chain, even though I get, a product which says that, okay, this, I've got boundaries on the AI and you have deployed it in on your own premise, etc. There could be elements transient dependencies, which are actually talking to an AI model, or worse, which is talking to, let's say, not so trustworthy AI models. Now, those are some of the severe risks that I see, and evaluating them takes time. Second, factoring in newer age AI risks which go beyond the realm of cybersecurity onto cyber resilience elements. Now, we are just talking about the AI overriding a plain command, etc. There is this piece of information. I will not name the company. Now, they had adopted AI. They had automated their entire CI/CD supply chain, CI/CD, and the AI deleted the production database. Okay, and when they tried to find out as to why this happened, and they queried the AI just said sorry. So that's like a human covering up for some mistaken action. That's bordering on artificial general intelligence. Now, even though we say that we are in ANI and AGI will take some time, we are getting there. We are getting there quicker than what most people see. So that factoring these things in while designing the adoption program, that this single point I see is the biggest challenge to us.
So we did see different layers of security in your presentation, Vikas, and we spoke about how organizations need to be aware. Now, if I talk about stats, in the same report that I'm referring to, 63% of organizations who have said that they have been compromised, right, do not even have a AI governance policy or are developing one as yet, whereas they are heavily invested in AI, right? Now, in a situation taking that into consideration, both at a governance level and the technology level, what would be your recommendation for anyone who's embarking that journey to embark it in a to do it in a secure and safe manner?
I think I talked to you a little bit about the overall framework, but I think there are some standard frameworks which are available. So I don't think we should worry too much about policy. Sometimes we have too many policies and we don't have effectiveness on ground. So I think maybe the first aspect would be to just use an AI tool to generate a policy and roll it out. After that, think of picking up an industry standard framework. At a high level, NIST AI framework is a very effective framework to use. Use another Gemini, ChatGPT to learn about it and start using it. It's called Govern, Map, Measure, Manage. Govern is how do you govern by setting up a policy and a governance council. Map is you do an inventory of your whatever is AI is there in your organization. Measure is that means how you measure the usage, how much data is getting uploaded, not uploaded and all. And then finally you govern, map, measure, manage. You start managing it in terms of putting a framework in place. And then that's a high level framework. Then you have frameworks from Databricks, OASP, Open Web Application Security Project, which gives you very clear, these are the top 10 risks you need to check. I think 95% or 99% of the risks can be covered by standard frameworks which have already been put into place. So it's actually effectively very easy to use and start off. The tough task lies in actually convincing people to follow that, and that's where more communication and I think aspects need to happen. So while your developer may be aware of what is to be done, he may not follow it for sheer laziness or for sheer because it's available to him, I'll go ahead, or because I have there is a latest version of ChatGPT or Claude or something come, then I'll want to pick that up. It's like we had one case where we do sometimes change our phones just because in September iPhone releases a new version. So the same way logic, I think even costs, yes, finance rep can be your biggest friend as well. So you should say we need to use the N-1 model and which is securely adopted because it will both be secure and also be more cost effective. So I think that's where a good conversation can happen about securing AI, and your finance CFO or the finance could also be your best friend in that. I hope there are some finance people who can take that up and support us in security. So
as cyber warriors or cyber sentinels, right, what what is your approach to build up that defense mechanism, right, to protect your organization from, any kind of being prey to any kind of vectors that is AI enabled, right? And we spoke about ransomware right now. So some of those. So how does someone build that?
So I'll just take that first. It's very important to understand what can affect you from an attacker standpoint. So I'll start first from that approach. You have your regular OWASP AI top 10 risks, that all that is included, that covers a good part of whatever is your technical risk. The second part is now, previously hacking and AI, hacking used to be quite an elite function. I used to do it during my school and colleges, that I was rather proud of my skills. Now my pet peeve is anybody and everybody can do this. So essentially what I'm trying to convey is that the bar to doing a real hack is now very low. You can just research online to get, how do you exactly exploit a system, what is the initial attack vector, so on and so forth. Now, why this is important for us to build defense is that the reality has to sink in that anybody and everybody can execute an AI attack. So your threat actors have increased, one, internally and externally, both. So once you have that realization, then you start building defenses around it. Now, your regular security tools go a long way to do that. And also, whenever I'm talking of security cyber defenses, I'm talking of prevent, detect, respond, and recover. So on the preventive side, threat intelligence is very important. Having advanced information is very important, but how do you use it? You use it to correlate with what is your attack surface. Then you try building mitigation measures, etc. around it. So that correlation element, use AI-enabled tools. There are a number of tools in the environment. Similarly for the incident response and orchestration layers, etc. Now, the faster you detect, the faster you respond, that will be key to you building an AI resilient organization in terms of the attack surface.
One of the common discussion point comes about what is the definition of roles, responsibilities, right, and contribution that LOD1, LOD2, 3 lines of defense have to do, right? So what's your perspective about it?
I was having a briefing with my team yesterday, and there was an incident which we wanted a closure on. So I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I'll share this anecdote. So what we said was, we told that person, I told the person, why didn't you close this? He said, I wrote an email and I followed up, and then I didn't get a response. So I said, then what? He said, I didn't get a response, so I'm waiting. So I said, okay, fine. So I think while there are yellow lines of defense, I think it's the responsibility of leaders to be able to collaborate across those 3 areas and then build that view that you'll have an end-to-end flow. So we take a lot of effort, and I have taken a lot of effort to collaborate with legal and privacy to help define guidelines, leverage them to also ensure that the right practices and policies are in place. Then have the same collaboration with, let's say, technology and engineering teams, that when they build some things, then you ensure that they are built securely. So that's the layer 1, the operational aspects. The layer 2 would be you and the enterprise risk management team. So you collaborate with the enterprise risk management team to ensure that they highlight AI as a risk in the various risk councils, so that your CFO starts thinking of that, yes, AI could be a risk. And then when you go and ask for a budget to secure it, then he says, okay, fine, I'll be able to give you one. So I think it's a lot of collaboration and a lot of leadership at the senior most level to be able to ensure that you don't let the buck pass through.
Jason, one question for you. Whenever we talk about AI, right, we also accept the fact that the AI is only as efficient as the data it gets trained on, the model, right? And that's the point where data also gets compromised from if the security is not in place, right? So what are the checks and balances that one needs to take care of, right, when they're leveraging organizational data, right, to train the models that they're adopting?
See, this boils down to your regular data security, posture management, your data security, data SecOps, etc. Now, previously we secured data for our own business purposes, for customer trust, for regulatory purposes. Now there is an additional element that, some of the data that we used, anonymized data, at least in healthcare or some other parlance, is regularly being used to train the AI models, and that's one of the key attack surfaces right now, as you rightly pointed out. Now securing data, securing the ETL pipeline which goes into it, while training and while the weights are being retrained, etc., when your models are being recalibrated, the entire data which is being used, the metadata on top of it, and of course the human in the loop who is handling all of these things, this entirety of this surface, this people, the process, the technology elements has to be secured. And you have your regular ways of doing it. You have privacy enhancing technologies which help you do it, and you have your regular checks and balances controls. But at the end of the day, nothing beats basic cyber security hygiene.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks, Vikas. I think that was interesting, insights and experiences shared. I think we have come to the end of this.